I think for us, what's been most exciting is, I would say 5 years ago, we weren't ready for this conversation, right? Programmatic was still relatively nascent in the land of CTV. We were nowhere near being able to bring linear into the digital environment. And now, with retailers honestly organizing a lot of their data and the rise of programmatic and biddable and automation and linear to behave more like digital, we are now at the point where we can find a way to open up a lot of scale for these retailers to take out to brands that they have really honed really masterful relationships with, and to be able to go into conversations with these folks and to understand the rich data they have access to. I think that we can really find a way to make video serve into all of these brands in a way that it never has before.
So what's the role of FreeWheel in this mix?
So FreeWheel for me is it actually can play multiple different roles. First and foremost, through their Beeswax product, FreeWheel can enable these retail media networks to be a white labeled full service solution for the folks that want to put their hands on the keyboard and book their media through their technology, accessing the most premium publishers that exist in the United States and then globally that sit on FreeWheel's TV platform product. So first and foremost, as a front door for these buyers. And then as the retail media networks evolve and mature, they can find a way to aggregate their own supply, working with these premium publishers, and then almost manage their inventory within FreeWheel's TV platform to really drive and create their own ecosystem. I think what we have to really solve for now is how do we not make it where every single retail media network feels like a separate and distinct object that these brands need to work with? How do we find a way to really unify a lot of that activity and keep it simple for those brands?
Because we hear so much expansion going on in the financial services and travel. Where are we going with this whole sector?
For me, what I think is most exciting about it is, I don't know if anybody can answer your question. I think the next 6 to 12 months and really the true convergence of video inventory is going to put a lot of pressure on all of us to think bigger, think differently than we ever did before. How many times have we come into a room and you say the buzzword, oh, let's go think in green space? I think we actually have to do it. We have to execute in the green space to figure out what these brands and customers, especially in the space of outcome-driven advertising, want and need from video when you can bring sight, sound, and motion to a consumer.
So what's next for your group at FreeWheel?
I think there's a couple things that we're thinking about. First and foremost, one of the biggest things from a Comcast advertising perspective is figuring out what is inventory. I mean, we talk about predicting the next, 3 to 5 years. I'm trying to sit here and predict the next 6 to 12 months. If we look at the land of streaming, and I really believe beginning of 2024, I said that this is the year of the rebundle. But if we think about what's happening in the ecosystem, we're seeing how consumers have so much choice. I mean, how often do you sit down at your TV and you're like, I don't even know what to watch because you've been looking for 15 minutes and then you just watch Shark Tank on CNBC because it's just the easiest option. So I really feel like we have to find a way to solve for consumer choice, streaming packages, and I really think the next 6 to 18 months are these streaming services experimenting with different types of packages so we understand honestly what premium video inventory is to this ecosystem. I was on a Laura Martin call this morning. It was amazing, and she even brought up different examples like, would there be a different paying model? Would you have to pay month by month? Would you do a quarterly payment? Is it a prepay? How do we find a way to make customer choice from a viewing perspective even more simple so that when we go to sell that to our advertising groups and buyers, they know what they're getting and they know it'll be there.
So how do we continue to bridge linear to act more like digital?
This for me feels like one of the most important parts of where we're going with retail media. If we find a way to unlock sight, sound, and motion with scale of television inventory across the ecosystem, it's going to literally change the entire game. Now, we have a lot of work to do. It's not going to be easy. We're used to a lot of data signals that happen as a digital buyer. You know exactly what's running, you know who it is, you know what they actually did. But if we can find a way to understand what data is available, I mean, a personal example for me is I don't know that I want Chipotle guacamole until I see that TV ad. I don't know how I would be targeted, but at the end of the day, how do we find a way to not only activate a consumer at a personal level, but then feed the funnel that our marketers are really trying to do?